All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the non-assists round 8. We are in Japan at the famous Suzuka Service Circuit, the famous S's. I'm really excited to be here on this fine Tuesday evening. We have 16 racers on the grid who are excited to be here as well. I am joined, as always, by Biggles in the pit lane and my good friend and buddy, Nihai. And this week I learned that knee-high is an Australian term for the fetal position because it was how they were shipped to Australia back in the day when they were convicts of the British Republic. So something new to learn from, and I'm excited to be here. How are you doing, Nihai?
Doing great. Glad to learn that's not part of my heritage. But yeah, looking forward to another race.
Yeah, the Suzuka circuit is definitely its own challenge for these racers. It's a mix of high-speed corners and low-speed corners, and only one DRS zone. So overtaking can be a little bit difficult, and it requires a brave soul in order to do it. But what are you looking for here today? What's the biggest challenge these drivers face?
I think the biggest challenge is obviously the S's, because it's all a chain of corners, and getting the first one right leads sequentially through. So getting that entry correct, as well as turn 11, can be pretty difficult with the exit there. It tends to be pretty slippery since this is a non-assist, so they're going to have trouble, I think, keeping the rear of the car in check. So yeah, just watching them being able to control the hundreds of horsepower in these vehicles.
All right. Well, we have a couple new drivers on the grid. Fuck You is a new Japanese driver, along with FST Ize, and we'll see how he does today. Also, we have Rez, also is a new driver, and a couple others on the grid. So, bit of a trial by fire for these guys. Japan isn't one of those tracks that you want to come out and easy to get your feet wet in. It kind of requires you to dive in head first to get going, but we'll see how they do. I think tire strategy is the next big topic of discussion. This is one of those tracks where softs really are a tough thing to figure out.
Yeah, they tend to degrade pretty fast. However, the danger with going at the hard or like a harder compound is getting heat into your tires for the start. I know personally from the last race that was the biggest issue for me. Just going off that start, you can tend to lose a lot of positions initially to those on softs. So you kind of have to see if it's the benefits to the decrements there with losing a couple of positions maybe off the start or coming back later on in the race.
Yes, indeed. I think soft hards is manageable, especially if you have a safety car to help you out, but I think medium hards is the preferred strategy. Unfortunately, it looks like Pile of Garbage has a horrible engine sound, so we'll switch away for the moment, and hopefully that fixes itself. But safety cars is an interesting thing to kind of plan your strategy. I think you'd expect probably one... Goodness, that's horrible to listen to. Sorry, guys. But I think you probably want to plan your strategy to have one or two. The question is, do you risk timing it to fit with your, one of your pit stops? As we have our first drivers cross the line. Bob Bainus, who is another new driver, 132, and Ionine sets a 128.4.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to work in that there will be a safety car into your strategy, because it's pretty much a guarantee, I think.
As the famous 130R, flat out in these modern cars, nothing really to worry about. But it does take a big set of cojones to try to overtake there, as obviously the most famous one is Alonso on Schumacher back in the day. As Duck Lovers sets a 127.9. Our first lap in the 127s, and that is going to be, well, I say that. Dick Tucker sets a 127.5, so on the softs. So that is the newest lap to go for. All right, Pile of Garbage, a 128.3. third position for now. But I think he's definitely going to go try to improve that. Looks like we have
There's a lot of
Haas.
drivers going off. Yeah, Ionide's there on the gravel out of turn 11.
Let's go on board with Ramacron. It looks like he left the track, and that's gonna not help his time yet. He's not on a good lap right now. All right, well, we have a momentary break in action, so let's go to our man in the pits. Biggles, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello. I'm up at the race control. I usually start up at the race control and then work my way down to the pits in Japan as well. So it's about a good little 100-meter walk.
Little jog.
And, yes, we. Yeah. When you are chained as criminals on the long voyage from England to Australia, I believe that is exactly the case that you referred to. So you might have to look that one up on Wikipedia. But yeah, we are a bunch of convicts, of course.
But obviously, some speedy ones. Danny Ricciardo, obviously Mark Webber. So not the worst.
Yeah.
Racing
Well, you forgot the
genetics to come
champions
from.
there. You forgot the ones that have won the championships.
Who's that?
Before.
I'm trying to think. Can you?
Yeah, you're gonna mind blank on me now. I didn't know this. This is something to pass the Australian citizenship test.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
we actually had a couple, but yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
As Ionides is 0.3 up on his second lap, so he's going to try 2 laps on those softs. It's a bit of a bold choice, but it seems to be paying off for him right now. It looks like a number of the cars are going for soft tires, Biggles. Any insight on the team's tire choice?
Well, Duck Lover set really good times right there on the mediums. He set a 127.9, so he's like 0.3, let's say, off Dick Tucker there in P1 on the softs. So the other guys, the new Japanese driver, is he's setting also a personal best there. He's on the mediums. Bob, welcome Bob, is a new driver there. He's dropped back to P11 on the hard, some medium, sorry. So he's going to have to probably come back out and choose the softs. But at the moment, it's looking pretty good for Duck Lovers on that pace.
As Ionides goes P3, displaces Pile of Garbage with a 127.9. I just want to give a moment to thank PV Tavega for your subscription. Appreciate it, man. Hope you enjoy the stream today. All right. Looks like...
So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Biggles.
Yeah, you're okay. I want to get back to you quickly before I forget. 2 Australian drivers have won the World Drivers' Championship. Jack Brabham did it 1959, 60, and 66, and Alan Jones in 1980.
I feel like you had to look that up, though.
I did look that up.
A bit of a cheat. But
And Brabham, and obviously Jack Brabham was the only driver to win the title in their own car.
Oh, yes, of course. All right, well, looks like FST Ize has gotten back into the lobby and is out on a hot lap. We'll follow him along for this. He is the championship leader and has won the most races so far this season. This is his home circuit, Japan. And but in an interview last week, he said he didn't like the track. So we'll see if that causes him to struggle at all. I know he got beaten to pole in Austria last week from Duck Lovers. But I think he'll probably get pole today. As he gets a little bit wobbly on the inside, it's a risk to put your tires on these curbs, especially if you're running a stiff suspension, as it looks like he is having connection issues and has left the session.
Who was that side? Was that Big Lemons?
That was FST momentarily left the session, so it says he's in the pit, so I don't know what trouble he's having. It's unfortunate. Hopefully he gets that fixed momentarily.
I'm showing, man, Big Lemons is not in the session.
Isotin takes an adventurous route through the gravel, and we'll go on board now with Pile of Garbage for his second hot lap. It's really, you're trying to brake as late as possible, carry that speed over to the right, cut in and shift up early to accelerate, get the power down through these S's. You aren't really even braking here, just lifting the throttle through the second and third S here. Maybe a shift down here, then it's just you put the pedal to the metal, accelerating all the way up through the left-hand turn. Got a little bit on the grass there, unfortunately. That's going to cost him a bit. It's just a touch of a lift through there now with these new cars this year. And a difficult downhill right-hander. It's easy to lock up your tire there. And then an uphill left-hander where the apex is shockingly late. You want to shift down early to get the power down as well. And then it's also just full acceleration down here to the right. Almost a straight. As good as a straight as you'll get in Suzuka. And then the last tricky corners in Sector 2. The exit out of this final corner here in Sector 2 is super important because you carry that speed all the way down the straight through 130R to the last chicane. And it didn't look like he was able to get the power down too well. Pedal all the way down. Don't lift at all anymore. Brake as late as possible. Cut the corner as much as you can to the right. Cut the corner as much as you can to the left. And there isn't the bump there anymore this year, but it's the track is still a little rough there, and you can't unsettle the car as he comes across for a 1:28.0. Didn't seem to improve his time there. Let's see here. Duck Lovers is still in the pits. He's, I guess he's happy with his one run on mediums, as Dick Tucker is now starting his hot lap. The one cool feature at Suzuka is obviously of the bridge. And, you know, when you're in the car, you don't really notice it, but commentating, you get to see that. And I think that's a really cool feature that not all tracks have. But, Nihan, I know you had a bit of an incident here on Saturday in your race. Kind of what went wrong for you, and do you think another driver today will make the same mistake?
So yeah, just a bit of how I was talking about earlier with the tire compositions. For me personally, it was switching to the hards, coming out of the pits on cool tires, and then being in the draft of someone else. So a loss of downforce to the S's, and just had the rear end slide out, snap oversteer when trying to correct it, and ended up spinning into a wall. So just the tire temperatures, I think, for me, as well as maybe some wheel settings and trying to messing around trying to fix those. But yeah, it's definitely something to watch out for, especially we're seeing qualifying right now, so they're not really cars aren't following each other that closely. But when you get into the pack on the race start, there'll definitely be you have to watch how you take the corners a lot more closely, because it's very easy to lose the rear end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, Biggles, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I just went down there to check with the Williams team as to the condition of Big Lovins, who obviously had that early retirement there he had the crash. So there was a bit of a nasty crash there. He said he was speaking. He's okay. He said that he biffed it on the first lap, and so that was his qualifying over. And he will obviously be starting dead last in P16, but he's okay. Just a standard medical checkup that they do. So he'll be ready to go for the race, but that's unfortunate for his qualifying.
Good to hear. His all boy improves by 2.5 tenths. Got a little bit on the grass there on the exit of the final corner. That cost him at a time, but that moves him up into P8. Trying to find a driver to...
Duck Lovers is on.
Duck Lovers? Yeah.
Duck
P3.
Lovers is back out. All
Yeah,
right.
still.
He's setting a personal best on the first sector.
As he
On the
comes
mediums,
over
yeah.
the hill. I think he's going to try to stem himself into the best strategic position here. I don't think he knows he's not going to get pole position, being 7 tenths off here. But he can put himself in the prime position, just like Verstappen tried to do in the first Austrian Grand Prix. He's just up 4 hundredths through Sector 2, but you can gain a lot of time here, trying to go wide, maximize that corner, get on the power. Looks like he does that quite well, cutting that corner, shortest line to the finish, and he proves by a tenth and puts him up into P2, and he's going to then nurse those tires back home as best as he can.
Yep, still half a second down from the pole, but very impressive from the mediums. I mean, imagine what he could do if he was on the soft tires, but obviously the strategy for the Red Bull team is to try to stay out longer and gain track position while everybody else has to box to change those softs.
And this is going to be interesting if FST is not able to, if we have 2 minutes left in the qualifying session, if FST is not able to, sorry, I keep on calling the wrong name, is not able to set a time and starts from the back row, then it could be really an exciting race to watch from our perspective as he tries to cut through the field, especially in this track where it's a bit difficult to overtake.
Yeah, we've always seen him starting from the front row and kind of just pulling away into the horizon. So it'll be interesting to see if his overtaking skill is as good as his race pace starting from the front.
Maybe this is one of his strategies. Maybe he feels that in order to try to become even better as a race driver, he wants more of a challenge. So he's maybe deliberately kind of sandbagging, shall we say, the qualifying, so that he has that challenge.
Or maybe he just really doesn't like Japan, like he said last week.
Either one of those.
Yeah,
Could be either one. That's right. Either one.
We have 2 Japanese drivers too, right? So
I believe so.
yeah,
So,
they have the home court advantage.
it's going to be interesting as Pile of Garbage looks to be getting right on the gearbox of Bobby Beans. Hopefully Bobby Beans will get out of the way.
Yep, we have a Pile of Garbage fan on Twitch, so here you go.
It looks like Bobby Beans does move to the side. Hopefully that didn't hurt Pile of Garbage too much. It's going to be interesting for this McLaren team, obviously. They are second in the championship. Have started off strong early in the season, but have really struggled the past few races as he's up 1.5 tenths through Sector 2. See how he does. Brakes a little bit early. That's going to hurt him. Shifts down early. Really short shifting to get that power down. And he improves by 1/10, moves up into one position into P5 as Ramacron, his teammate, goes second fastest, demoting Duck Lovers off the front row into P3. So,
Yep, Ramacron set the fastest third sector there. And my ex farts on Twitch said, "Let's go, Pile of Garbage. Let's have a hot one." So it's got some fans out there. Sorry.
I really do like the McLaren livery, and it's going to be interesting, obviously, with the new Golf sponsorship they have this year and next year. We'll see how that livery changes, but it could be interesting. I think it's great to move back to their kind of heritage. As qualifying is over, let us find, should be a couple more drivers here. Camel is one to watch, 4/10 up, mounts the curb, really trying to cut that corner as much as he can. Good entry into the first chicane, and he is going to the line, goes second fastest, improves by 6/10. That is impressive. And Duck Lovers with his mediums is struggling to, he's going to hope to stay on the second row.
Bob back in P14, so
like,
he's making.
Sorry?
No, you're right, Bob. It looks like Bob Bean's back in 14. He was improving on his personal best, and he's right back there. Obviously, he is the last person. Izzy is not going to set a qualifying lap, but Bob's, 7 laps. I'm not, actually, that's incorrect there.
3.
Can he improve?
He
T-Boy as well is improving.
As he improves 7/10, moves up into P12. That's probably a good thing for him to do. He can start on a fresh set of rubber and be in good position to do well with his teammate, Fuck You, in P11.
Looks like FST Missy wasn't able to set a time and retired, so he'll be starting on the back row as well.
It looks like our last driver, Alboy, 2/10 up. Seems like he missed a shift there for a moment. Down to the finish, and he improves by 3.5, P8. Congratulations to him, top 10 there. And that should be the end of qualifying. Well,
T-Boy also came home. T-Boy also finished just behind him, and then moved up into P11.
All right. Well, that is your grid. Dick and Camel, front row. Alpha Tauri and Ferrari, followed by Ramacron and Duck Lovers. Duck Lovers with the alternative strategy. Pile of garbage, P5, the second McLaren, and then the two Haas boys, happy with where they're at, P6 and P7. Mercedes is shockingly further down the grid with that new black livery that's just got into the game yesterday in P8. Buffalo Beans, P9, Racing Point, and then the two Alfa Romeos, and P10, P14, sandwiching T-Boy in P11 with the Red Bull, and the two Renaults in P12 and P13. All right. That is the end of qualifying as the time runs out. And hopefully this lobby does what it should. But what do you expect to see off the... do we have any drivers that we can talk to? Or...
He must be jogging to the
There
pit
it
lane.
is. There we go. All right, guys. There is our grid. FST and Big Levin's not saying a time. Big Levin's with the big crash. Williams is going to be doing their best to fix their car. And FST should have to rise through the grid. Expect him to end up on the or near the top. But it's going to be fun to watch. We will be right back in a moment. The Japanese Grand Prix is coming to you next. All right, welcome back to Lights Out Racing Round 8 at Suzuka. We are here. The session should start shortly. The drivers are on the grid, 16 drivers. The grid has been set, and it really is an exciting, should be an exciting race today. Nihai, we'll start with you. What's your key to the race today?
Well, obviously, safety car could have a giant effect. We'll see how the alternate strategy with Duck Lovers works out, since he's the only one starting on medium. And then we'll see what happens into turn 1.
Yes, that indeed is the biggest turn of every race, but especially here in Japan. Big looping right-hander. Biggles, any thoughts before we start the formation lap?
Well, we have a lot of fans on Twitch. So we have obviously quite a few fans there that are supporting a pile of garbage there. So big shout out to them. Also recently had a fan there. We've got some royalty in here, Mr. Sir Bennett. So nice to have your presence there. Being a sir, you've been knighted by the Queen. So he's supporting Bob and Matty Boy, all the boys there. Maxi is Maxi Farts there. He is a supporter of the pile of garbage. Yeah, there's a few pile of garbage fans there, so pile of garbage gets that big boost there. But obviously, strategy-wise, Duck Lovers in the medium, and Rez there in P7 is on the mediums as well. They're the guys that round out the top 10 on the different tire strategy compound choices.
Yep, well, they're out here on the formation lap trying to warm up their tires, and those on the mediums, that can be a bit difficult to warm up, and especially if we see a safety car later in the game. Especially if we see them later in the game on the safety car with the hard tires, then that could be really difficult to have a good restart from a safety car, because I think a new feature in F1 2020 this year is just how difficult it is to get those tires back up to temperature.
Yeah, we've had a disqualification there from Romacon, so I'm going to run down there to the McLaren team and see what's happening. And Blue Cow as well So in the AlphaTauri, I believe. So I'm going to be running from one part of the pit lane to the other. Let me find out and get back to you on that.
All right, that sounds good. All right. Everyone revving their engines. Trying not to Verstappen it. This should be a good race. As Duck Lovers does Verstappen it. Trying to
Yes.
warm up those tires.
Commentator's curse again.
And goes off there.
Yeah, as we were saying, it's extremely difficult to get these tires up to temp. So we'll see how the start goes for him.
With disconnection from Duck Lovers there too?
Just a disqualification. He spun off the track trying to.
Oh, that's fine then.
Tire.
Yeah, just a glitch. Yeah, to let everybody know that if they do make a mistake, I believe during the formation lap that they get disqualified. However, they will magically reappear in their grid slots.
I'm sure Verstappen wished that could happen to him last week.
As it looks, what is... There we are. We are live. Away we go. Great start by Dick Tucker and Campbell. Pile of garbage moves up into P4 as it looks like Rez loses one spot. Duck Lovers, it's a terrible start, is down into P6.
Omicron also making a mistake there and losing a couple positions, but like we were talking about, this medium's tough to start on.
Sorry about the audio there, guys. A little bug there from the game. As we have it looks like Blue Cow is off in the Alfa Romeo, and he has spun, is going to move all the way down the track. FST has gotten a great start up to P11. And
Pile of garbage as well, up to third place already.
yeah, he is getting some overtakes done.
Yeah, big pile of garbage gained 2 positions. Ironades gained 2 positions off the lead there. Alboys gained 3 positions there. Big bad start from Dak Lovers. That's costing him back 2. And then FYC, FPHY, and I won't pronounce the rest of it, is up 5 positions there in the Renault. Great start from him up to P7. But another loss. Romicron's lost 6 positions. A lot of action. So back to you guys.
Let's go on board. I don't know if he has damage. It looks like he is good. Let's go back on board with Duck Lovers as he tries to hunt down Allboy. He lost a few positions here at the start. And Blue Cow looks to be back on the track. As let's go to Isotin. As Isotin makes the move on Big Lovins. Big Lovins goes a bit wide, but stays able to handle it. As Isotin is into the wall. Will the safety car come out? Nope, it's just a yellow flag. And
He's
got
okay.
a little bit excited on the throttle, and that's going to need him a new front wing.
Yeah, lucky they get away without breaking the suspension there.
All right.
Yeah, that's cost him a lot. He started on the medium compound as well. Now he's absolutely almost plump last. So he's plump last right now. So a long way back to the pit lane right now. So if you do make a mistake in this track, it costs you a lot of time.
Let's go on board with Allboy. Duck Lovers has the the tire advantage over Duck Lovers, but I think Duck Lovers has a bit more speed and is trying to hunt him down. A little bit of a lockup, and he goes wide, and Allboy might be safe for the moment. As it looks like we have a good race between first and second position. As we approach 130R, what will happen? Campbell backs out like a wise one, and he'll wait to buy himself another time. As Dick Tucker will have the chance. As Duck Lovers does get past Allboy into turn 17, and will try to stay ahead coming down the straight. As we have another yellow flag.
Big Lovins.
As Big Lovins takes a bit of a pill.
I think Big Lovers is not loving that corner, that's for sure.
All right.
No.
Well, It's going to be a tight top 4 battle here between Pile of Garbage, right on the gearbox of Camel, coming through the S's. It's really just trying to stick as close as you can with all the dirty air coming off the car in front. And you can already tell how slowly they're going through these S's versus qualifying because they can't get the power down. And Ionides is right on the back of Pile of Garbage as well. So, bit of a train going on, and hopefully we'll have an overtake here shortly.
Well, yeah. Speaking of which, Rez has dropped a lot of places now. He's just been passed by T-Boy and Bob Beans, and he's dropped back into P13. So what if he has some damage?
All right, let's. His front wing looks good as FST's retired. I do not know what is going on with him. That is very unfortunate indeed. As a safety car is now out. Maybe he crashed.
Championship leader has retired.
Out of turn 11, lost it on the when he putting the power down.
Wow, that is
mentioned earlier.
Very unfortunate.
So he wasn't lying about not liking this track.
Yep.
I'll jump down there to the pits there, to the team, and I can see if I can grab Izzy and find out what happened.
All right. Well, we'll see if anyone goes in. Yes, we do have several drivers into the pits. Looks like the front 3 are all going in, locking up, trying to be good. And Duck Lovers is going to really be the beneficiary of this potentially. As unfortunately for Pile of Garbage is lucky, but Ramacron is very unlucky, and he will be a bit upset that he's going to have to wait in the pit box.
All right, I managed to grab FTC Izzy. What happened? FTC, what Izzy? What happened with your crash?
Hello.
I'm not quite sure. He might not be here.
All right.
Anyway, I'll get back to you guys.
No problem. All right, so a bit of a strategy change there. Obviously, let me pull up the new tires that everyone is having. And as you can see, it looks like half the grid has gone from softs to hards. The other half are staying out on those softs, and then the original medium runners are going to stick in position.
Yeah, 5 new hard runners and then 2 mediums, looks like. Couple sticking with the softs.
All right. Well, definitely going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out, and those hard tires are going to be difficult to warm up here behind the safety car, and we'll see how that goes. Duck Lover's back up to P2, staying out on his mediums, and let's hope the safety car comes in this lap.
It looks like both the alphas are pretty far back, so we might be able to.
Do I have FST here? Are you here, FST?
Right, please.
Hey,
yeah. What happened with your crash, sir?
did you crash, Ize?
Wait, please.
All right.
All right. We're having some issues there, so sorry about that. No.
Thank you. Sorry, go
okay.
ahead.
Previous car lost its balance.
Ah.
Lost balance.
Oversteered into a wall. That's unlucky. We hope to see you next week in the Netherlands. New track, obviously, for the game, but do you think you'll do well next week?
I want to win.
All right.
He
well,
wants to win.
It could happen. It does rain a lot in the Netherlands, so it definitely could happen, and probably to your favor. Well, I'm sorry to see you crash out like that, Ize. Best of luck next week. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yep, bye.
There you go. It's Japanese first retirement of the race, and is the actual home favorite, Izzy. So that's unfortunate, but
very much
we're
so.
sure he'll bounce back quickly.
All right, I would expect the safety car to come in.
Yeah, I believe they're all bunched up now. I'm seeing in my telemetry here, they will. So by the time they approach the third sector, as they are into the second sector right now, we will get the announcement of the safety car being in this lap, according to Codemasters. What are the other situations that we can see here? So this does still benefit duck lovers. He's on there. Obviously, none of these guys in the top 9 have boxed. They're on the original compound tires that I started on. Duck lovers on the mediums. T-Boy in P5s on the mediums, and Rez is on the mediums in P7, and also Big Lovins as well on the mediums in P4. Now the fan favorite out there, Pile of Garbage, he's in P12 there. He boxed obviously after that first couple of corner carnage, shall we say. And he is switching to a different strategy, running in P11, 7.2 seconds off the leader.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Pile of Garbage jumped Camel with all those pit stops going on. So he's up in extra position behind Dick Tucker, who was in the lead. So
Yeah, I think he has the net second right now.
that is definitely interesting. As we are green, Ionides leads us across the line. All boy tight behind. Looks like the rest are following through behind. No real issues here so far. As Big Lovins makes the move on AJ. That's a ghost, unfortunately. And Pile of Garbage.
Looks like Dick Tucker on.
He is moved up his position, and it looks like Dick Tucker has spun. Keeps his wing, but drops him well down the order. He's going to be upset about that for sure.
Yep, T-Boy and Rez are battling it out side by side right now,
All
P6 and P5. It looks like Rez made the move on T-Boy, and that drops T-Boy in the Red Bull back down to 7th place. They're on same compounds.
It looks like Ramacron is battling Camel, who's joining the fray. And Pile of Garbage does get past Big Lovins, and now has a little bit of clear air up to T-Boy, as looks like a bit of contact here. Further back, some close fighting between Camel and Ramacron. I do apologize for that frightful noise. That's a bug in the game. And here comes Ramacron, 130R. What will happen? Who will lift? Neither has to lift. Ramacron sweeps through into P9. That's a great overtake. As Duck Lovers sets the fastest lap, and he passes Ionides to go P1.
That brings two of the McLaren drivers together. They can start to work their strategy. They are both on different strategies, actually. Come think of Pile of Garbage gets past T-Boy. So this fan boost that he has right now is really working. As somebody just commented, it's a perfect day for a Pile of Garbage at the moment. It certainly looks like it.
Yep, for sure. All right. Definitely tons of overtakes through here as Rez comes flying through. Looks like he's going to try to get the move done on Bobby Beans through here. Bobby Beans backs off, lets him go as Pile of Garbage is next to make the move up the inside into the braking zone. He gets the move done and moves into
that looked like, to
P6.
me, that was a big lift. I wonder if he lifted because there was something earlier, because that was a lift. That was not a mistake. He lifted by far. So perhaps he had bumped somebody before and he felt that he had to get the position back. I'm not quite sure.
All right. Well, there's a close battle here between T-Boy, Bobby, and Ramacron behind. As T-Boy has to lift slightly to not run to the back of Bob Bianis. And up the inside, locks up. And Ramacron's going to sneak through, take the position. Great move by Ramacron as T-Boy. Oh,
he saved
that
it.
is so unlucky. He loses his front wing. Keeps it on the track still, but he's going to have to box. And that is a tough break on those fresh medium tires. All right. Well, Camel is well down the order now on those hard tires, and he's going to need to try to come up the order as best as he can. Very unfortunate for him to fall that far back after leading this race. as Duck Lovers now has a 1.5-second lead on second place, and they're going to have to pit. So his strategy is really paying out. He's going to need to stretch that lead out as much as he can in
Yeah, looks like
order.
he's putting around 3/10 a lap right now on ionides. So, and as you mentioned, they're on the 7-lap old soft, so those will be coming to an end soon.
Yeah, the key to Pile of Garbage and Romicron here is they switch to hards early, but they're going to have to try to make them last to the end of the race. And so you got to be a little bit careful with these. Can't get too excited. The three drivers in second, third, and fourth are going to have to pit anyway. They're on the softs. Rez is going to have to pit as well on the mediums. So they're, if they can stay within 20 seconds of Duck Lovers in P1, they're going to be in great position.
Bob Bob and Dick Tucker are really battling it out right there now in P8 and P9, as Romicon had set the fastest first sector, and it's actually quite very good pace right now too from Romicon, who is in P7 just ahead of them on the hard tires, and he sets the fastest lap. So
as Ionides in second place goes into the pits, and he's the first of the soft runners to pit after the safety car. Bit of excitement there from Blue Cow. Got a little bit on the grass coming through 130R, and had to, as looks like Romicron. Oh no, Pile of Garbage is in the wall. I did not see what happened there, and that is a tragic turn of events for his race. And that's going to drop him down. He's going to have to pit for a new front wing. I don't know if there was contact there.
he's resuming back on track. I believe Eiston had to avoid him. He also went very wide there, but Eiston was okay to resume back on track. But that's sorry about that, little fans.
I know
back
Romicron was pretty close to him, but I don't know if there was any contact as they were fighting, or if he just lost it coming out of the going through the S's. But that is a heartbreaker.
Ionides
sure.
makes a move there on Blue Cow. What's with the cows in the league? We have 2 cows in this league, I believe. Now we have a Blue Cow, we have a Milk Cow. So Blue Cow's made a move there on Ionides, or Ionides on Blue Cow. I think I catch that.
All right.
Yeah, the Duck Lover is putting, looks like a second a lap on Alboy right now. And
As Allboy goes into the pits, those soft tires really do die early, so it's not surprising that
Nine laps on those softs is about the limit, I believe. Duck Lover said set the fastest third sector.
And Rez,
these guys at the front are generally pacing around 131s, 132s. Everybody else is in the 136s midfield.
So, Rez in P3 with those 9-lap-old mediums. Newcomer to the lead is doing pretty well. Obviously, I was going to have to pit. That'll drop him down the order a bit, but can't complain about where he's at. We'll try to get, Buffalo Beans will go into the pits here pretty shortly. As his teammate Ionides is trying to close the gap on Isotin. And doesn't look like, I don't know, it doesn't look like Pile of Garbage went to the pits, which is a bit surprising to me. Decided to stay out on those hard tires.
looks like it is a right end plate damage.
So I don't know how
So
serious that
Ionides,
is, but
it's blistering on the track right now. It's right behind Iceton. He's at the fastest first sector. He's about to mount a challenge.
yeah, those fresh mediums are going to definitely be faster. As he leaves the track just a touch, but is able to make the move stick on Isotin, boost up into P8. As Buffalo Beans goes into the pits.
Yeah, Buffalo is still the only guy out there on the softs. And that's, there it is. He's boxed right now. He's going to drop back P5. He's going to lose out actually quite a few places now as the rest of the midfield pack cross the line. So, yeah, that's going to drop him all the way back probably to around 10, 11. He'll slot in probably behind Allboy.
Yeah, 13th.
All right. Well, Camel's mounting the charge up several from last to P11. And he'll look to keep on rising up the ranks as he goes. Let's go back on board with Ionides. He's closing in on Big Lovins and the Williams. And looks like he'll get the move done. Makes it look easy through there. Those fresh mediums are sticking to the track. And no match for the 10-lap-old mediums. And he moves up into P6.
So it'll be interesting now to see how far they can make these medium stretch. Obviously, as we kind of predicted with Doc Lovers, that qualifying strategy has paid off because he has P1. He also has the fastest lap, and he's managing to build a nice lead there right now. 9 seconds there off P2. All he has to do is kind of increase this. He can slot in for his pit stop and easily come out, obviously, within probably around P4, P5.
Yeah, he's going to definitely need to do some overtakes there, especially on Ramacron, who's going to be staying out. But should be interesting to see how that goes. As it looks like Camel is looking to make a move on the Alfa Romeo, trying to go down the inside. Blue Cow covers the inside and going to stay in that position as he goes into the pits, does Blue Cow. I don't know if he had any wing damage or going through the hards, but Camel moves up into the last points position, P10, but Allboy is going to try to steal that from him if he can. All right.
Yep. Yeah, Blue Cow did not have any damage on the pit lane, so he's back out there. And LJ in P15 is entering the pits.
Despite the broken wing, Pile of Garbage is P8 right now, up a couple positions. Trying to keep in touch with Isotin in front, and Big Lovins is trying to overtake him in the back. We'll see if Big Lovins can get a move done. His mediums are losing their life as we have a yellow in sector 1 and 2. Trying to figure out who that is. It looks like it went away quickly, so looks like it's just a temporary.
There's somebody running wide. That's the case. Ramacron set the fast second sector on the hard tires, so he's really putting in the pace right now. His last lap was 130 flat. Duck Lovers in the lead is doing 130, and Duck Lovers boxes.
Duck Lovers in the pits, going to the hard tires. Let's see where he comes out. Rez is also in the pits, and Ramacron takes the lead of the race. Let's see what happens. Dick Tucker goes past. Looks like Fuck You gets past, and Duck Lovers will enter back onto the track in P4. See where Rez comes out. Ionize, his teammate, is through. Will Isotin make it through? There's a whole bunch of cars coming down here as Pile of Garbage is making a move on Isotin. Makes it through there. Great overtake by Pile of Garbage up into P6. He's really driving the tires off that car despite losing and having half an end plate. So kudos to him for that. He'll try to hang on there and score some points. Let's go on board with Camel, trying his best to make his way back up the grid into P9 as Allboy gets past Big Lovins behind. A train of 4 cars here, all racing each other as Rez tries to get a move done on Isotin in front. Good view here. Isotin's managed to hang on. Rez gets a great exit and will take the position into P7. And Isotin's following down the order in his Alfa Romeo. He's not going to be too happy about that.
So far to update you on the penalty situation, nobody has a penalty. This is not generally a track where the drivers will receive penalties. So
as Camel makes the move before 130R, makes it look easy. Must have been saving up his overtake button for that. Hit it and spend it and got past. And hope he'll try to have DRS to the car in front, keep that position coming down the straight.
So with Ramacron up front right now on the hard tire compound, his last lap was a 131.6. Dick Tucker a little quicker, just 1/10 off the pace on the mediums. But he's 4.8 seconds behind. So interesting pace we're seeing. Ionides has some great pace there. He's back in P5 on some fresh mediums.
Rez definitely has the speed here on his fresh hards on Pile of Garbage. Got really close there coming through turn 1. Had to back off a touch to avoid contact. And that's dropping back a little bit into the clutches of Camel. But see if Rez tries to make any move here into turn 11.
Duck Lovers, after his box for some fresh boots there on the hards, set the fastest first sector time there in P4. He's 10 seconds off the leader. He also owns the fastest lap at the moment, so let's see what sort of pace that he can do on this fresh rubber.
All right. Raz is going to use overtake. Has the speed. Pile of garbage to the outside. Raz to the inside. This could get very exciting indeed. There's a touch of contact, but they keep it clean mostly, and Raz into 6th position. Bold overtake move there through 130R. And Pile of Garbage has to tip his tap to that. Down to P7, and Camel will look to follow that up as well.
Yeah, Duck Lovers completes the pass and moves up to P3, and as he does that, we see our first time penalties come in. Looks like for Ionides and then PY8.
All right, well, that could be costly, especially when no one else is having them. And Duck Lovers looks like he has 10 seconds that he's going to have to overcome in the next 17 laps sorry, not 17 laps, 13 laps to overtake Ramacron.
But he does have those fresh hards. The drivers ahead of him are on 11 lap old mediums and hards. And we have another fan boost for the Pile of Garbage saying, can it is Pile of Garbage #1 fan, or you are the #1 fan. Can I have a post-race interview? I gave birth to the kid.
As Camel gets very squirrely. Yes. Well, congratulations. I hope he makes you proud.
Romacon sets the fastest second sector. Duck Lovers sets the fast first sector again. A lot of pace in these front runners.
Well, Camel lost a little bit coming out of turn 11, the hairpin, and that's dropping back under a second. Isotin will try to capitalize on that, as will Allboy behind. The midfield battle this race has been very tight as Duck Lovers sets the fastest lap of the race on those fresh, hard tires. See if anyone can get an overtake move through here. It's tough to do an overtake as the third person in the DRS train, and the DRS of Isotin in front is going to nullify the DRS of Allboy behind, and he was unable to get a move there down the straight. As Dick Tucker picks up a 3-second penalty, multiple warnings for track extension. All right, well, Duck Lover is already closed up over a second on Dick Tucker. So that is something to keep an eye on. Plus, Dick Tucker is probably going to have to pit again. I don't imagine those medium tires lasting to the end of the race. I think 14 laps or 15 laps is about right. Do you have any input on that, Mihai?
I think that's about right, yeah. So he's not, unless he can perform a miracle, I don't think he's making it to the end. So Duck Lovers right now just has to try to close that gap. Because right now it's increasing to Ramacron, between Ramacron and Dick Tucker, but closing between Duck Lovers and Dick Tucker. So we'll see if he can make up that time and challenge Ramacron as his tires kind of fall off here in the closing laps.
So as let's check the situation now of the lap times there. Duck Lovers is the fastest man on the track right now, also setting the fastest lap. Most of these guys at the front are in the 131s. We got Pile of Garbage 132s. Midfield's Grabble that's been very entertaining there. They're generally from Pile of Garbage down to T-Boy or Blue Cow are running in the 132, 133s. Big Lovins at the back there struggling a little bit, 134. And we also have the last driver there, Jarun, I believe it is.
Allboy tries to get the move done on Isotin, locks up coming into turn 1, gets a nice hot spot on his front tire and loses the position again. He's going to have to try that again over the next lap. As it looks like the midfield battle has spaced out a little bit. Pile of Garbage now 1.6 seconds up, but really doesn't have any chance to overtake Rez in 6th position. Ahead of him, another 2.5 seconds to Ionide, 6 seconds to the Rendo driver. And Duck Lovers is now 2 seconds behind Dick Tucker. So next, probably 3 laps from now, I expect an overtake to happen. All right. So exciting.
Yeah, Ionide ran a bit wide into the gravel through the S's, so he's lost a bit of time to Rez behind.
As Camel, sorry to interrupt, Camel has another spill, breaks his end plate, back down to P11. Not a good race from him. He's been struggling to stay on the track so far. It's the second time he's damaged his wing, and that's not going to be happy for him. But I think he might be able to make a set of soft laps to the end of the race, though. So we'll see how that comes in. He might be able to fight back up into the final point positions. All right.
Just the one safety car. We've had, I believe, 1 or 2 virtual safety cars, but right now you can see a bit of gaps forming between the drivers. There, the penalty situation, just to quickly update you, TikToker has 3, Fire Rock has 3, Ionides has 3, and Bob has 3.
All right. Well, only 3 drivers have him as well. Duck Lovers picks up a 3-second penalty. That could be very, very costly, especially in his tries to shake down Ramacron for the lead. And I know he picked up one last week as well that cost him pole position. So, sorry, podium position. So he's going to be probably very frustrated with himself about that. You can just now see Dick Tucker up ahead. It's just so salivating to see your prey within reach, but you gotta keep your focus on the track ahead of you and try to pump those laps in as best you can.
Sounds like you're the crocodile hunter there, seeing your prey in reach.
As Pile of Garbage gets the move done past the Rendo driver. I don't know why he's going so slowly. Seems to be struggling there. Lost a couple positions to Rez. And Pile of Garbage back up into P6. Retakes the position.
Dick Tucker pits.
As Dick Tucker is in the pits, we have a yellow.
Ooh.
It looks like Blue Cow is
Stopped
off
on
the
track.
and is trying to get back up and running.
Yep, just at the end of the first sector. He's now back on track. He's in the second sector.
All right. Well, Duck Lovers doesn't have to waste time behind Dick Tucker. And looks like a 5-second for speeding. That's not going to be happy about that. But
Dick Tucker should slot in right behind the pile of garbage there. So this fan boost from the pile of garbage is working as he moves up into P5.
yeah, I don't expect him to keep that position, though. Fresh medium tires and a full 2 end plates are going to be difficult to fend off for any length of time.
As the fans say, that the past was a pile of perfection.
Well, he did it in the pits, so you can add another P to that.
It's a good alliteration there.
As Allboy gets a 3-second penalty. Dick Tucker down the inside in the braking zone. Has the outside line trying to hang on there. See if he gets a good exit coming out through here. Pile of Garbage holds the position for now. And must be using that ERS all the way up because he's able to pull away just a touch. And it needs a good exit out here to be able to keep this. It does not get a good exit. So this is going to be interesting. Duck Lover set the fastest lap, 1:35, with those hards.
Pile of Garbage out of the RS right now, so I think Dick Tucker
Flat. Dick Tucker through the inside, makes the overtake at turn. Dick and Pile of Garbage gets a little excited, trying to come back, but Dick Tucker has the DRS and will keep P5 for now.
The fans are chanting defense, 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 but unfortunately, there's only so much Pile of Garbage can do. Dick Tucker is very quick, and he's already almost building up a 1-second gap right now. There, let's see how this is going to work for Ramacron as well. He's on 16 lap hards, and his pace is slowing down now to Duck Lovers. So, can he make it stick to the end on those hards?
Do you have any information on this tire wear?
I don't, unfortunately. No, but it'd be interesting to know from your driver aspect there.
He needs to make him
Gotta
last
help out.
22 laps. I think could be risking a puncture at the very end. So even
Yeah,
if Duck Lovers still has a bit of a gap at the last few laps, it could be interesting because punctures are a new kind of an enhanced feature in F1 2020, and can go wrong pretty quickly. We've already had a number of drivers try to stay out too long on some tires and came
Dick
to a bad
Tucker's
end.
fastest first sector. He's obviously on those fresh mediums now. The pace is right there.
Isotin does a big dive bomb on Big Lovins. Bob. And Bob does the cut back. Very, he's probably being adventurous on those new soft tires, but that's not the way to do an overtake.
Dick Tucker will cross the line and get the fastest lap. He's 29 seconds off the leader, but with a time penalty. So even though he's got the pace, this is where how far can Ramacron go now here? 17 laps. He's losing pace now. Duck Lovers is 7.9 seconds now. Duck Lovers is going to catch him, obviously in the closing stage of this race.
There's 6 laps to go, so he needs to make up more than a second plus of the time penalty unless Romacron picks up one. So what's going to be interesting as Bob goes into the pits on those medium tires. Well, there's a bug there. They can't be 31 laps old, but he'll be probably switching to the softs.
Yeah, the 12 laps, I believe, according to my telemetry.
All right. Camel's back up into P11. We'll hope to get back in the final point position. I'm surprised he hasn't set a fastest lap. Iceton might be giving it a trot here with his new tires, but we shall see. Gaps have opened up across the board as far as I can tell. So we have a little moment of respite to everybody.
Definitely a lot of pressure for the leader right now because Romacron needs to, he is losing, he's going to be losing almost half a second now a lap. So can he make them, he can afford a pit stop, but he will slot in probably around P4, P5.
I think P3, he could make P3.
P3, yes.
So that's interesting.
Does he want to lose
dilemma for
the possibility of winning, or does he want to try to push these tires as much as he can, and knowing that he's going to be losing at least half a second a lap, and probably even will be increasing a lot more as you get even further deeper into the race on lap 22 or 27.
Yep, and I think it's all going to depend on what percentage those tires are at. If they're approaching 60%, I would be heading to the pit lane because it's going to be impossible to make them last. As Buffalo Beans closes up here on Alboy. Alboy and Mercedes has had a pretty good race so far. Made up a number of positions, but seems to be struggling a little bit through these S's.
Similar tire strategy there between Alboy and Buffalo, both on practically the same tire wear on the hards. Buffalo P8 and Alboy P7.
Yeah, another thing to look, how are the lap times between Alboy and Pile of Garbage? Because that gap seems to be dropping a bit now, and both the McLarens have the same tire, pitted the same lap to put on the hard tires, so we could be seeing similar.
Dropping about half a second to Pile of Garbage.
Yep, so that is going to be difficult. 3 seconds right now, 5 laps to go. That could be something to keep an eye out on near the end of the race. Trying to look down here through the other gaps. Doesn't seem to be any that are particularly close. So right now, looks like Rays might be closing up a bit on ionides here. Those 13-lap-old mediums should be falling off a cliff here, probably in the next 2 laps.
Yeah, gap down to 6.7 now. I don't think he'll have enough time unless Romacron makes a mistake.
But at this point, he's just hoping for a puncture. That's what he has to be hoping for right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Romacron's kind of like controlling the money in this league. So shout out everybody on Twitch. Who would be your driver of the day? I pretty much guess what most people are going to be voting for at this point, the fans. But yes, your driver of the day, lap 27. Still a long way to go, but it's a very long lap. Anything can happen right now. Dick Tucker's looking good in tire wear, back in P5, with fresh medium tires, and also holds the fastest lap. But he does have a 3-second time penalty, and he is 7 seconds off the leader.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at the positions gained, you have Iceton with 4. Camel really is the loser here with 9. Positions lost. Started P3. That's going to be hurting. Ionides and Rez both gained 3 positions as well. So all those guys in the top 4 have gained multiple positions. Any of them, you could vote for driver of the day. We'll see how this plays out in the last few laps.
Dick Tucker set a good pace there. Fastest third sector, 130.3.
All right. Well, there's Allboy, 2.5, as he locks up again. He keeps on doing that. I think he must have his brake balance a bit high, and that is going to put him into the clutches of Buffalo Beans. And Pile of Garbage is going to be really happy about that because that reopens the gap as Buffalo Beans loses it just a touch with the dirty air. That opens up the gap back up to over 3 seconds with 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go. Depending on how you count the one they're
My,
on.
my apologies. I'll be back in a second.
No
Just,
problem.
Some technical glitches down in the
As
pit lane.
Dick Tucker has caught Rez now, finally, on those fresh medium tires. And we have some action as Rez is going to try his best to stay in front. That is odd.
Neither of them using overtake through 130R.
And Dick Tucker through the inside, brakes later, past 130R. Great overtake there. Will probably have DRS down the straight. Yes, he does. P4 for Dick Tucker. And 2.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds back from I-9, so he could be trying to get a move done there.
Yeah, he might be able to get a podium here if he keeps his pace up.
All right. Well, that gap is down to 5 seconds with 2 laps to go. And let's go on board with our leader to see how he's... Not sure. There we go. A little bit of a bug there. Robocron seems to be doing okay.
Down to 4.9 now. He is losing a lot of time through the curves.
I can imagine. All right, well, gap is down to 2.6 seconds. Lost a second there in the past lap here, so this could be an overtaking opportunity at the very end. Really impressive there. You can see the missing end plate. He's managed to hold on to that for 20 laps now, so as the crowd gives him a bit of applause, but 2.4, this could be a tough last few laps for him. I will say I've been impressed by Rez. First race in the league. P5, solid P5. Can't complain about that. Suzuka's not it's not an easy track, so, and he's hanging in there with the big boys.
Yeah, great race from him today.
All right. 3.8 seconds now. Duck Lovers to Ramacron, so that has really dropped the past lap. Still a sizable gap with 2 laps to go, but plus Duck Lovers has that 3-second time penalty, but this could get very interesting. Those hards have to be in really poor shape right now.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to hold on unless the pressure of the final lap gets to him. But
22 laps on those hards. As Duck Lover sets the fastest second sector, he's putting a lot of pressure on right now. He has the 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough unless Ramacron gets the puncture here on the last lap, as Duck gets a little excited and tries to catch back up. As Rez is a 3-second time penalty, but I don't think he's going to put that too much, as we are on the final lap. Ramacron, 3.7 seconds. Should be fine here. All boy, 2.6 seconds to pile of garbage. Obviously, they'll have one more lap after this to go, since they're behind the leader.
I think right now, Duck Lovers is just trying to put all the pressure on Ramacron right now. We're not quite sure of the warnings that Ramacron has.
This is it right here. Dick Tucker closed up tight to Ionides. Last podium position up for grabs between these two drivers. This could be a huge final lap for these guys. Through the S's, trying to get the power down as early as they can, leaning on that curve. 7/10 through there, lost a bit of time. I don't know what ERS he has left, but he's going to need to use it all. Little bit, misses the apex on that corner, up to 8/10. Gap from Ramacron to Duck Lovers is dropping now below 2 seconds. But I don't think it's going to be, it's too little, too late. All boy, 2.5 seconds back, a pile of garbage with the final lap. That's not going to be enough. Camel can't quite get it close enough to Isotin to make anything happen.
Ramacron's going to cross the line.
And Ramacron wins the race. Duck Lovers, P3, We'll stay on forward with Dick Tucker here for the moment. He's going to be too far back on 99 to get a move done. That is going to be too bad for him. He will cross it into P4. And Allboy isn't going to get it done on pile of garbage. Into the last chicane. He goes. Taking it easy. Don't want to spin out on the last
Pile of
corner.
garbage has no penalties, so he
And
should finish.
P6 it is. Good race for him. Good recovery race from him after losing his end plate early on.
Look
Good
at Buffalo. He
for
passes
him.
both Allboy.
As Camel, looks like Camel gets past Isotin in the last corner. Isotin's going to be unhappy about that. Camel rescues his race. Well, no, he has a time penalty.
Time penalties.
And Isotin moves up into P10. What a race.
He still gets to beat him on the overall track. These drivers, at some point, some don't care too much about the time penalties. They're happy just to pass them on track, and it's entertaining.
What a race. What a race. Good effort shown by these drivers. Ramakron really, as the Japanese driver, gets driver of the day by the game. Obviously, you might have our own opinions of that watching it, but Ramakron really a great drive. I might give it to him today. Made those hard tires last. Pitting early during the safety car was the way to go. Held off the challenge of the Duck Lovers in second place. He won't complain too much with the podium position. And finishing it off, I believe, is Ionides in P3. He's going to be happy about that, our English driver. Just woke up early before work to race today, so good for him. And Ramakron, the man who arrived just in time, gets the victory. There you have it. 3-second time penalties for everyone involved. Well, not everyone involved, P2 through P5, and that cost Dick Tucker could have gotten P3 if he hadn't had that, but really good race by everyone. We will be back in a moment with interviews. We'll hopefully have the race winner, and maybe we'll get Pile of Garbage in here along with the rest of our podium finishers. We will be back in a moment. All right, we are back in the interview room. Let's go ahead and start with our race winner today, Ramakron. No, not the best qualifying, I'd say. I think P3 or P4, so not the worst, but you decided to pit under the safety car. How bad were those hard tires the last few laps?
They were amazing. They had so much grip at the last. I made the best last sector, a purple last sector in the last lap.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. They had so much grip. Obviously Duck Lovers, I was faster, but My tires were amazing.
Yeah, so I think what won you the race was deciding to pit under the safety car. Were you pretty confident the hards would last to the end, or was it just a risk you were willing to
Yeah,
take?
yeah. I was pretty confident. My strategy was to beat in lap 9, but I thought it was going to be 5 laps. And when I saw that Doug Lovers was on hard tires too, I think that I thought that he he wouldn't overtake me, so
Okay.
I was confident.
Well, next week we are going to the Netherlands. Have you had much chance to practice that? You feel confident there?
Uh, I have some practice, but I really don't know very much the circuit yet. But we'll take a shot.
All right. Well, congratulations on your victory. Well deserved. Great race. And we'll
Thank you, man.
probably talk to you next week. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. All right. P2, Duck Lovers. You went for the alternative strategy. Qualified really well on those medium tires. But didn't quite have enough laps at the end to catch P1. So maybe you're a little disappointed, but overall, good race. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Qualifying mediums, it worked fine in the beginning. I was catching, the safety car came out at a really unfortunate time because I was catching those top 4 people that were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was trying to pull a gap after the safety car to for a gap for pitting, my mediums were just overheating like crazy. I was understeering all over the place. And then I went to the hards, went back to I think P4 or P3, and I was flying, and I got really unlucky penalty, and then I just couldn't quite reach Ramacron, but the hard tires are actually very good around this track. They have a ton of grip. But I was thinking of going for a fastest lap, but I just couldn't quite pull the gap to iodines to get a pit in, but
Yep.
I'll take it.
That's all right. I think that's your second podium of the season. Congratulations. And we look forward to potentially seeing you next week. Good race. Congratulations. All right. Ionides, you made the last ditch, overtake to get into the final podium position there. Woke up early. Sorry?
Did I? No.
Did you not? Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I thought there was a battle between you and no, sorry, you lost. My bad. Dick Tucker overtook you, but on
No, I was fighting Dick Tucker, but he didn't manage to pass me.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
You woke up early for this race, podium position.
Yeah.
You have to be really happy about that.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Well, is that gonna confident about next week in the Netherlands, or just looking to make it through the rest of this week with a hop and skip in your step?
Yeah, I'm very confident for Netherlands.
All right. Well, congratulations on your podium position, and good luck the rest of this week, and we'll see you at the Dutch Grand Prix. All right. Let's talk with Pile of Garbage here. You were in a great position, I will say. Was able to pit under the safety car in front of your teammate who ended up winning the race on those hard tires. You just seemed to. Did you lose on your own, or what happened there? You lost an end plate there pretty soon after the safety car. So.
Yeah, I was going into I think turn 4 or 5, and I just kissed the inside curb at the wrong angle and just spun right out. I didn't think that it hit the wall at first, but then because it didn't tell me I had any damage initially, and then Jeff was telling me that watch your front wing, and yeah, and then the rest of the race was fairly lonely for me.
I mean, how difficult was it with those? Obviously, you had hard tires and a broken end plate. Did the car handle that much worse, or did your new Thrustmaster T300 lead you to?
I was just gonna say, I think the new wheels smoothed everything over. It didn't feel too bad. Going into the turn before the bridge, like going under the bridge, I lost a lot of time there. But I had a lot of fuel and ERS saved up to get out of the next hairpin nice and well, so I was able to save some time there, and yeah.
Well, congratulations. I was expecting you to pit, but you stayed out.
Yeah,
got P6.
I just stayed out. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you. I just want to take this opportunity to thank my mom for making a Twitch account, coming out and supporting me.
It was your mum. Yeah, we were chatting on Twitch. There was a shout out there saying I gave birth to the boy. So,
Yeah, she's a character.
All right.
you also won the fan boost of the day as well because you had a lot of
Did
fans
Yeah.
shouting out
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Is that a point?
Unfortunately not. We're not Formula E. But,
Okay.
but congratulations. Great drive from you to get a good bunch of points, and good
you.
luck next week.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. Final interview of the day. Rez, this is your first race, I believe. With
First
us.
ever league race, man. Thanks.
First ever league race? Well,
Yeah,
you did
bro.
pretty well.
Thanks, dude.
You fought through, after the safety car, you fought through the field there. Did you go for a one-stop or two-stop strategy? I can't remember.
One stop. I was too tentative on my mediums runs, and I was actually going to do a run on the softs, but you probably saw I spun, pushing it just a little too hard. So yeah.
Yeah, Rez, you boxed on P12, I believe, and went to the hards. So.
On the race or the quali? Yeah, on the race. Yeah, I don't know. Tire wear was alright. Race is going good. I was just too tentative at the start. Tires felt really cold.
Yeah.
I didn't have any confidence. This is my least favorite track. I have no confidence at this track at all.
Yeah, I feel you there. It's definitely a tough track, especially.
It is.
You
Yeah.
commented on it in the stream that it's kind of a tough track to be thrown in for your first race in the league. So, but you did really well. What was the biggest learning experience that you had so far in those 27 laps?
First lap, being around other drivers, too tentative.
Yep.
Really cautious. I guess it's a lot of fun having actually good fights with drivers that are actually competent and not open lobbies.
I'm glad to hear that.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess the most fun I had, it was first few laps. I guess it was more exciting. But towards the end, I got a penalty. I would have had a podium potentially. But yeah, I got a 3-second time penalty on the last lap, I think.
The strict track limits really can catch you out if you slip off.
It was just slightly off too. It wasn't like anyway. It is what it is.
It is.
No, congratulations to the guy who came first. He smashed it.
Yeah. Well, I think
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I think there's someone in the Twitch chat that wanted a shout out. So I don't know if you want to do that.
Oh, who?
Your AJ.
Oh, AJ. Yes, my engineer. GG
you had a race engineer.
I did. Yes, he was his first time. He did really, really well. He communicated really well. I highly recommend him to anyone who wants.
This is good.
Who wants to race engineer.
All right.
I do race engineering myself, actually, for some drivers. So I understand the stress conditions for doing it. A good job there, mate. And I expect to see you on the top step doing a shoey soon. I hope.
Well,
as a fellow Australian, I kind of more so expect it than hope, because I know it's going to happen.
I hope it comes, man. I just wanted to finish the race, man. The first one, I wanted to finish the race in the points. I didn't really want to go.
I hope you're going to be continuing on as well. I hope you're having fun and.
Yeah, man, it is great. This league is so organized. Shout out to Easy Nine Time too. He's done a fantastic job with his Discord, the leagues, organizing, you commentators, doing the streams. It's so professional. I'm glad I finally stood up and
thank you very
reached
much,
out
man.
and tried to join a league. So yeah.
All right.
Well, Ezzy and God of Hellfire and all the other guys are like they put a lot of commitment into this, and so it's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, you can tell. It's very professional. So I'm enjoying it here, guys. So thank you.
Well,
thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. It's a great race today, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's everything we have. Shout out to Matty Boy finally there at the end. Get a little recognition here on the stream. I want to thank you guys all for watching. It was a great, exciting race. We will be back next week, of course. Me and my good friend Nihai, maybe Biggles from Down Under, will be back as we will be racing in the Netherlands, the new track to the game. So first time league race for all of our drivers. That should be fun and exciting. But of course, we will be back as well Thursday with A2 race in Japan, and then Saturday with Assist 1. We'll be racing in the Dutch Grand Prix as well. Thank you to Flynn FFC for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream and enjoy the music. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great evening and have a great week. Thank you.